everyone, it's Erin. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be setting up the spread for March in my reading journal, and it's kind of a bullet journal notebook that I decided to try to do to log my reading for the year, and so I thought I'd just show you how I'm getting it set up, and then at the end we are going to also go through and fill in some of the logging from February that I hadn't done yet. So I'm starting with kind of inking over my sketch that I had done for the outline. For this month, I decided that I'm going to do kind of a plant and put the books that I read in the leaves of the plant. So here I had kind of lightly sketched out in pencil an idea of what I wanted to do, and now I'm going back over it with a gel pen using, let's see, which one did I grab? It's a Pen Gear gel pen, so nothing horribly, fancy or anything, but I'm just inking over it, and then when I'm done, I will put some color over it, and then that'll be what I set up. So this is a little different than how I done the previous months. So this whole journal is really an experiment for me. I had done a couple other ways over the last couple years to figure out how I wanted to do my reading log, and then I saw a video on YouTube and got inspired to try a bullet journal for it. And so I kind of got late to the game. This is just kind of a cheap dot grid notebook that I had picked up from Walmart. Didn't want to spend a lot of money on it until I knew if I would like it or not. And it's yeah, just kind of an experiment. And so I actually decided to start doing this kind of towards the end of January. So January and February spreads were kind of a hurry up, stay up late, get the whole thing set up so that I could have it for February. And so they were very basic, and this month I've decided that I'm going to try to get a little bit more creative. So now that I've got everything sketched out, I'm just going to go through and fill in with some Tombow brush pens and add some color. And I think I'm just going to, rather than talk through the whole thing, we'll just kind of speed up this part. You can kind of see my hair peeking through there. I apologize for that. I was trying so hard to avoid that this time. But oh well. So yeah, I'm going to just kind of speed through this part. You can watch me finish coloring it in, and then I will kind of finish up after that. Alright, so I've got all the inking done, and if you can notice that down towards the bottom there are looks a little different because I had tried to stamp something and then it didn't work and it got messed up, and so I tried to fix it. So it's not perfect. But now I'm just going to write the month down there with my brush pen, and then it'll be all ready for me to add book titles into the leaves as I read them. So that's the setup for my March spread in my planner. So now we're going to transition into filling out the info from February in my journal. So I got this idea from Katie Colson over on YouTube, and I'm just kind of keeping track of what the breakdown for different types of books and things that I read this year, just to kind of see how it gets broken down. So first one would be whether or not it was a YA book, a fiction book, or a nonfiction book. So I'm coloring in the one spot for the nonfiction book I read this month. There's really no rhyme or reason to the colors. It's just kind of whatever strikes me at the time. So I only read one nonfiction book in February, the Reimagining Apologetics that was written by Justin Bailey. So I colored that in, and then I had 2 young adult books that I read. So I colored that in. Actually, no, it was one young adult book and one that was kind of more adultish, I guess. So that's how I broke that down. And now this is the section for whether or not it was a physical book or an audio book. Only one of the books I read in February was a actual physical book. The other 2 were audiobooks. I do tend to do most of my reading via audiobook because I listen to them in the car and while I'm cooking dinner and things like that. So 2 of the books were audiobooks this month. So I colored in those spots there. And then the other one that I'm flipping to was, I had thought it would be fun to see how many male or female authors I read. So I'm going to go ahead and color those in. This month it was 2 female and 1 male. Again, this was another idea I got from Katie Colson when she set up her video on her reading journal. And I just thought that was kind of just a fun way to track my reading habits. So that's what we got going on there. And then now I'm just going to flip to my, I'm flipping to the page in my journal where I write down the titles of the books. I do have another spot where I keep track of the dates that I finished them in my planner, but for the purposes of this journal, I just write down the titles and then a spot for my favorite book and a spot for my least favorite book of the month. So I'm going to fill out that part now. And this was a really hard one this month because I actually didn't dislike any of them. So that's kind of what I'm writing in there. I can't really pick a least favorite. I did mention that the Reimagining Apologetics book was, even though while I enjoyed it and it was good, it was probably the hardest one to read because it was definitely a bit more academic than the other 2. So, but I can't really say I disliked it because I thought it was really good. And then the other thing was the favorite book was also really hard to choose as well, just because the other 2 were just both so good. So I don't think I really actually ended up picking a favorite book. The other two books that I read this month were The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson, which is the third book in the Truly Devious trilogy, and then the other one was Winter Keep by Kristen Cashore, which is the new book in the Graceling Realm series, one of my all-time favorite young adult series. This one I would say is probably more new adult than YA, but I really liked it still. It was a good story. I actually do have a blog post up on my blog, which will be linked down in the comments or the description box if you want to read more about my thoughts about what I've read. You can go check that out down there. Otherwise, I am planning to do a monthly setup video of my spread and review, kind of fill out my log of what I read, and that's about it for this video. So I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, leave some comments down below, hit that subscribe button and all of that jazz, and until next time, keep being awesome.